Jana, one of my favorite women. How are you?
Hello, I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm like looking at our outfits. We're both like V-neck, you're blue, I'm green, you're matching, or the blue and blue, I'm wearing blue and green. Anyway, I am so excited to jump into your world today, just about where you're at. So just for those of you that don't know Jana, she does have a testimonial floating around somewhere, I think, from Soul to Soul. She's gone through the process, and she was recently actually at a retreat that I hosted here in Venice in California. And one thing about Jana that I can absolutely say hand on heart is Jana is in it to win it. She's an absolute powerhouse, and she's been on quite a journey, you know. I always say to my girls, Rome wasn't built in a day. And that's really the truth, right, Jana? It's not like you just come into Soul to Soul and after 8 weeks, boom, presto, like a rabbit out of a hat, there's your soulmate. It doesn't work like that. But what I would love to acknowledge with you is that you've really stayed the course with your dream. And there are times when you felt confronted and probably wanted to jump off the dream highway and just go back to, you know, victim village and mediocrity hill. And yet, no, you just kept coming back for more, wanting to really pick the high hanging fruit. So just share with us where you live, what you do, all that really good stuff.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm German, as you can probably hear, originally, but I've been living in Sydney, Australia for the last 15 years. I have my own business, and it's currently changing, which is a whole other story, but I am working with large-scale events and non-for-profits, and I help them manage their people, mainly their volunteers, more effectively through effective leadership, basically. And I'm actually now feeling into what else I want to do, and after the retreat, I'm really inspired to work with female leaders, especially in non-for-profits, and find a way to connect them with their teams in a different way.
Beautiful. So how old are you?
Oh, I am 40.
40, big 40, love it. Now, the reason Jana is jumping in here to speak with you girls is because Jana is now with her soulmate. And so when I saw a picture of this divine man, I was like, oh my goodness, you guys look amazing together. Just share with us. I want to hear the full story of how this work has helped you to attract in this caliber of relationship. What's different? How did it happen? How are you feeling about it all? Just going to hand it over to you.
Yeah, like you said, it wasn't immediate. It's a bit of a process of me coming home to myself. That's really what it felt like, and connecting with me in a different way, and acknowledging me and loving myself, I guess. And doing that consistently, that is what I found made all the difference. And also stepping out of my own way and letting go, because that was a part of me, is to really hold tight onto everything, you know, the control and you know, just so it can't slip away. And that wasn't really serving me. So so that came sort of out of Soul to Soul, but then I went through more support along the way, and it really helped me step into a different version and just feel different in myself. And then I started dating again last year, like online dating. I met a few different guys, and I could really see the difference. Like guys were like instantly sharing themselves with me. So it was kind of a cool mirror back to me what I was now feeling. Like at the start, it was actually a bit confronting. It's like, whoa, why is everyone like starting to share their life like straight away? And I was like,
that's hysterical.
And but yeah, like
moving the light. Sorry, keep talking.
But yeah, it was kind of a cool experience to see the difference, because it was like 1,000% different from what I had attracted before. And it was really cool to see that it was like the only difference was me, and really nothing else, because the online ad was the same, the slight changes, but you know what I mean, doesn't actually make any other difference.
Well, I think that's a really good point, because I know when people come to work with me, they'll tell me, you know, other things they've done. I've had women go and see matchmakers and or people that are like famous for like doing the best profiles online. I got to be honest with you, like all that stuff is redundant if you're not going to change the energy from within. You know, you can have the prettiest picture ever, but if your energy sucks or you're out of alignment or you don't believe that you can have it, that picture is not going to get you into a soulmate relationship, or the world's best wordsmith is not going to be able to help you out in terms of holding on and attracting a great relationship. So it irritates me tremendously when I hear that women are paying money to go and have like the best profile, because I'm like, no, that's not what you need. It's not going to get you. It's not going to change any of the conditioning that's been eating away and not serving you, you know? So eating away at you, I should finish my sentence, you know, like the belief systems, the behaviors and the things that we do, like just automatic pilot that are not serving us. Like you said, you were in your way, and you were. And it's one thing to know that we're in our way. It's another thing to have the tools to be able to get out of our way. Because people come to me very justified. They're like, I'm in my way, or I know that I'm a control freak, or I know this and that. I'm like, great, but just being aware isn't enough. So if you could just share, Jana, you know, when you first came to me, I remember that phone call. There were a lot of tears. You just describe, I know now all I'm seeing is this grinning Cheshire cat, and I freaking love it. I love it so much. You're just so lit and so happy and so you. If you just talk about the Jana that came to me versus the Jana that's sitting here talking to me now, talk to the old self and then share with us how you really feel now. Just brag your heart out.
Yeah, like I can barely remember, but there was a lot of tears in the process, for sure. There was a lot of fear. I think that was the main thing, and I wasn't really sure. Like there was a little bit of awareness, but like awareness that something had to change, but I wasn't aware that it had to do with me. Well, kind of, I can't even tell.
No, I totally get that. And the thing is, Jana, what you're speaking to right now is profound, because this is a lot of women. Like you had come to me, you had done Landmark, you'd done various other programs, and you'd done some things. Yeah, you've done a lot. Exactly. So that's why it was a blind spot. And that's why when women come and do this process, they'll say, oh my God, I just did not know how shut down I was. I had no idea I wasn't in my heart. I just thought it was like 1 + 1 = 2, and I just needed to do this tweak and that tweak. It's like, no, it's so much deeper than that. It's around the heart. So when you came to me, I can remember there was, you were sad. You were unhappy. You were totally not in the magic of who you are, in your scarcity, in your lack of self-worth, you know, you didn't believe that you could have it, Jana, and you'd never experienced it. And I also remember you were attracting men in that weren't treating you well. Is that right? It was a while ago, this first call, but it just is all coming back to me now. It was really that you didn't know what a really healthy, thriving relationship looked like.
Yeah, like I did the last few relationships were just very toxic, actually. And then I got really scared as well that I attracted that in, and that I will attract that in again, and I didn't know how to change that, and so it was just safer to stay on my own. Like I almost was at the point where was like, okay, I focused on my business a lot. So I thought, oh, I will fix my business first, and then I'll see.
Yes. Oh my God, Jana, you are just like spouting so much gold. Spouting? Is that even like how crazy stuff? Anyway, like spouting. But you're just like, you know, I was basically just telling myself it's easier to be single. I'll just put my energy into my business, or I'll just wait till I get my business perfect. You're literally speaking into so many of the thought systems of the women that come to me. And they're all valid. It's just that they're all roadblocks, and they're all reasons, and they're all putting off this soulmate relationship happening. And it's like easy to justify, oh, I'm just busy with my business, or I'm just busy, da, da, da. It's like, great. But it's costing you. I know, Jana, you want to have family. You are going to have family.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that when we talked about it on our first call together, you were heartbroken over. You're like, I want to be a mum, and I can't see it happening. And you know, that's really where you were.
Yeah.
How do you feel now, just in this beautiful new relationship? Watch it. I know your face is going to light up. Yep, there it is. How do you feel now with this divine man in your life who is moving from another part of Australia to come and Brisbane? I just wasn't sure if you wanted me to say it. Coming to be with you in Sydney. Like, what does that really feel like now, with this support, this love, a guy who gets you, knowing that he wants to have a family too? What's that like?
It's it's actually hard to describe, but it's every time we talk, it just feels like a different level. It just, like, from the very beginning, it just felt right, and we connected. Like, it almost felt like our souls connected, honestly. I don't even know how else to describe it.
Just keep going, doing great.
I didn't even know that was possible. And because from the very start we talked about everything, we kind of shared that from the beginning. And
I'm a hot mess over here, Jana. I'm literally like not coping with this at all. I've watched Jana's process, and it's just like best thing ever when you just see someone in their element. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm just like, it doesn't get old, you know. It's like seeing you just sharing, like, you know, you're like, I can barely describe it. Our souls connected. Like, that's huge to speak like that. You're not just talking about a guy you met. This is I can feel it, and that's what's making me so emotional. Is I've watched you, like, Jana's courageous, you know. She steps up even when she didn't feel like it. She's like, I want to be my best self. I want to attract my soulmate. I'm going to do this. There were so many times Jana could have quit, right? You could have, and you didn't. And this is what it looks like, girls, for those of you that have given up, for those of you that are just speaking rubbish about the fact that there's no soulmate for you. It is rubbish. And Jana was going down that path. That's why this is such a juicy chat we're having, because you came back to the dream, and then you went down the dream highway, and now you have arrived.
Yeah, it truly is. Like, you know, the last 10 years, I would have actually liked to start this earlier, to be honest. In hindsight.
Don't you just love Jana? Don't you just the way she speaks? Yes, I would have liked to start this 10 years earlier. Well, so would I. I wish this was around for me. So I could have started earlier too, Jana. I agree with you. You know, it's like, it would save a lot of time.
And suffering, and like,
it's unnecessary.
Unneeded suffering.
Totally. Fuck yes.
Put it on ourselves, and it's ridiculous and unnecessary. So that's probably my biggest learning from that.
Yes. Wow. So then I just want to get into the, you know, into the energy of, if I was watching this, I'd want to hear more about this juicy relationship. And I do. So just share what's something that you love about him, and something about the way he makes you feel, or something cool you just want to brag about.
Yeah, I really love how we connect, and how we share just everything, and like, we can talk about everything, which is something that I really wanted, and I'm really, like, blown away every time that happens. When I actually reflect on it, it's like, wow, we just shared, and we cried together, we just open and talk about everything, and vulnerable, and
Beautiful.
it's not always easy, and you know, to like, there's a lot of fear coming up for both of us actually, but it's because we're in two different cities, and we you know, we talked about what does it take to be together, and it's, you know, and then being on the same page that there is actually no other option. We you know, we making that happen, and we are creating the life that we want together, and it's just amazing to have somebody on my side to do this with and talk about stuff, and yeah, just
But I love
life.
share life. I love what you just said, Jana. You just got so much gold today. You said it's not always easy. There is fear that comes up, and like this is what stops people from wanting to have that relationship. Because I say this all the time. There's nothing safe about love.
No.
There's no fucking manuscript or PDF that we can have and go, hey, if you do this, this, and this, you have a love that lasts forever. So just bring your heart in because it'll be safe. There is no relationship on the face of the planet that exists like that. And that's why women are so quick to just give up on it if you've had shitty relationships up until now. I had shitty relationships as well. And if I didn't do me and really clean up my act, my beliefs, the way that I was showing up, I definitely would be in the wrong marriage right now. There's no two ways about it, because I was really clinging to my victimhood before, and that love wasn't safe. The difference is now is I know that love isn't safe, but I choose it every single day. It's an expander, and it's vulnerable to let yourself be loved at this capacity. To love someone else, you know, with all your heart is incredibly vulnerable.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee on any of this, but I'd sure as shit rather go to the grave having loved my heart out than just have stayed safe so I didn't have to lose anything.
Yeah.
That's
very, yeah.
But I just love your honesty around the fact that what I hear when you said fear is it's more just two vulnerable adults, you know, especially when you've at 40, when we've had enough time to really get very independent and in our own way. When you're meeting at 40, it's just like, wow, the vulnerability is even higher because it's almost like you feel like there's more to lose because you've actually just almost gone into the plan B of, well, I'm good on my own. I could just keep going that way. Whereas to really let someone in when you've kind of gotten your own way, it's just like, I've got to learn how to live in a whole different way.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly the focus. Yeah.
That's the vulnerability. It's just like, I'm going to keep opening my heart even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels uncomfortable. It's like, you just keep going. That's what it really feels like. But I tell you what, Jana, it looks amazing on you. And you just are such a mama bear already before these kids have come in. You're just sitting there in your regal queen. No wonder he's moving to be with you. I mean, girls, you had to have been at the retreat, seriously. Like, everyone loves Jana. We were like, right? Remember Taryn was crying. She's like, I just love Jana. So it's just such a travesty if you look at Jana now, and yes, she is sharing this beautiful celebration about the relationship, but when she came to me, she's where many of you that are watching this are right now, a beautiful soul, but just she was in the wrong story. She was in the story that love doesn't work. She did not know how to actually use her heart. It was scary. And now this is what commitment looks like. This is what having her dream being non-negotiable looks like. And so what do you want to say to some of your fellow soul sisters right now that are standing exactly where you were, Jana, how you were feeling before you started doing this deep work, knowing that you'd already done other work as well? What do you want to say to them if they're sitting here? Maybe they have tried a lot of other stuff and they're just angry at that as well. Like, what the fuck? When is something actually going to work? What do you want to say to them?
What it took for me was trusting myself at every step of the way, actually. So, and that was not always easy. You know, there was financial barriers. There was
absolutely, and that's another symptom of no self-worth.
Yeah,
the fact that there was the financial stuff that was going on is another symptom of how out of alignment you were.
Yeah. And so, what I found was whenever I made the decision from trusting myself, even just like it was just in the moment. I was like in and out of that. But just in the moment, it was like, okay, this feels right. And I have never gone wrong with that over my life, really, if we look at it like that. But especially in the last few years when I was a bit more aware of that. That's, that applies to my business, it applies to the relationships, it applies to this program. Like every time I came from that, and that's how I live now.
Is trusting your heart.
Yeah, and that's what I found. Like that's the big thing that I found: trusting myself, trusting my intuition, trusting my heart, and connecting to that.
Yeah. So if someone's sitting here and they're thinking, gosh, I really want to be like where Jana is right now, what would you say to that girl that's got some obstacles in her way, who wants to do soul to soul, who wants to really up-level her life and get this support?
Yeah, like I think it's very hard to see beforehand what is possible if you are in that space, because I was there, like, lack and just like sadness, really. And I was actually thinking at the time that it's easier to be on my own, and I wanted to have children, so I was looking at the possibility to have a child on my own, but it wasn't really inspiring me.
Yeah.
But I kind of saw that as the only option at the point, and yeah. And looking back now, it's like, oh, that kind of makes me cringe a little bit, because there's so much more to experience, and like in my case, even if this life circumstances don't necessarily change like all that quickly, it's all a matter of how we choose to live life, and that's like I said, like I wish I had done this 10 years earlier, and lived my 30s this way, because this is like, it really feels like living now, like it didn't feel for a long time before that.
That's the truth. You weren't living when you came to me, you were surviving.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of a no-brainer looking back, but I know there's a lot of there was for me as well a lot of things that I can put in the way, and there is a lot of things coming up that I could put in the way of my new, like, it's actually a very brand new relationship, but like, things come up all the time where I go, like you said, I lived on my own I'm very independent. I lived on my own for, I don't know, 6-7 years. And sometimes you just go, oh, just be easier. But no, it's so worth it to step out of your comfort zone and do something different.
Yeah, but we're talking about soul to soul right now. So what would you say to that girl who does want to do this, who's scared?
I was scared too. I just jumped in. I just jumped in and committed to the process. That's all it took.
And I'm going to share, like, Jana legit was that person on the phone with me that said to me, I have no fucking idea how I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
That was you. And she was crying because she was excited and crying because she was scared out of her brain.
Yeah. Because I knew in the moment that it sounded right. I wanted to do it, but I didn't know how to.
And
I didn't know how to do financially.
You did not. You didn't have the answers on that call with me, and we figured it out together, and you did it. You did it. But it just was so inspiring, Jana. I mean, Jana had like max credit cards. She couldn't even use a credit card. Like, it was that level of conversation where what she did know was, I'm doing it. That's all she knew. And we spoke again, and she saw I was a real person. But, you know, she's like, I couldn't sleep last night. And I was like, don't worry. Does this feel right in your heart? And you were like, yes, it does. My head's going freaking berserk. But that's because all the resistance from all those 30 plus years was coming up in your face. And that's what's so inspiring about your story, Jana. And that's why I wanted to share that, because it wasn't just like you're sitting there with the money in your bank account, sitting there pretty. No. And when you came to me, you weren't happy at all. So it would have been even easier for you just to say, oh, I don't have the money, I'm going. Like, no, it's too hard. Because you were already, like, you were in a low vibration. But even within where you were, you felt it was right. And so you went, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do it. And that's what I want to share with you girls, is it was her attitude that had her change her life. It was yes instead of no thank you that had her change her life. It's very inspiring.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm so glad I did.
Yeah. Oh my God, me too. I mean, I feel like I've known you for a long time. I mean, it's been a little while now, but it hasn't been that long. But I know you so well. So listen, Jana, I am so excited to see this unfold, to continue to unfold, and to see these beautiful babies come into your life. You're just in a really beautiful place. You're really in your heart. It's really magnificent to witness the journey. And as I always say, the best is yet to come. So just keep coming in and, you know, sharing in the sisterhood. And listen, if you want to reach out to Jana, don't bombard her. But is that okay if they ask you a few questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't have to be a slave to their questions about every single detail of your relationship. Don't be a pervert. But you can definitely ask Jana, you know, a few questions, because her journey is an inspiring one. And the reason I'm so lit by this is because she's no different to you girls, right? But she had a desire to say, no, this is not negotiable.
Yeah.
And that's why she's here. She's not just lucky Jana. She created this. You would not have attracted in this level of relationship as the girl that I met. That was not how you were. You were totally like that with relationships.
No, I'm actually really clear. I just reflected on that the other day, and I'm really clear that I would probably not be in a relationship again had I not found this.
Wow.
Because it was just too freaking scary.
I know you're right when you say that. I know that because, as I said, the version of you that I met, right? Because so many of you are walking around in this version of you that's not even the true you, but the version of you that came to me, she was shut down. She was absolutely not going to meet the love of her life. She might have met a guy, but it wasn't going to be great. Yeah. So that's the truth.
Yeah, it is. It really truly is. So I'm really, really grateful for having been able to do this process, because it's honestly, I have done lots of other things, but it's most of the stuff that's out there is very cerebral. Is that the right word?
Cerebral, yeah.
So, you know, it's just thinking your way through stuff, and it makes sense, and it's you know, creating awareness and all of that. But it actually doesn't go deep enough somehow. So that was the real big difference for me. And so thank you, Lucy. I'm really, really grateful that I was able to do this and create my life like this now. So
my absolute pleasure. It's just been, like I said, it's been an honor to see exactly where you were, because as I said, you know, there were moments when I kicked your butt, for sure. But I was only ever just holding up to show you, hey, Jana, you've got this, you can do this. That was all I was doing. And then you just kept saying, yep. But I know that there were times where it would have just been much easier to just walk away or just not do it. And because you were dealing with so many years of conditioning, you know, that's why it's easy to just go, oh, I can't be bothered. And that's why this is so inspiring, that you just were like, no, I'm going this direction now. I know what it's like to go that direction. I'm going this way. So, yes.
Yes.
Congratulations, darling one. And I'm just going to go and keep chugging on my liter of coconut water. And listen, I can't wait to see you when I'm looking at you.
Yes, looking forward to seeing you in Australia soon, maybe.
Yes. All right, darling heart. Well, you stay on and I'll just stop the recording right now. Thank you, darling.
Thanks.
Bye.